Those were the first words ever transmitted in the world by Thomas Edison in 1878. I think so, because no one's running around.
Okay.
Mic 1, mic 2, mic 2, mic 1, mic 1, mic 2. Are we going to be able to get this to light up?
Hey, you're gonna go live. You ready?
Wait, you can't put me on. Are you putting me on live?
We're gonna put you on live.
Holy shit.
Do you want to go? Do you want to go on time, or you want to just delay it?
Nah, we'll go on live. I'll wait for them to hook up. That's all. I can ad lib.
Are you streaming right now?
Hey, Mike. My Scranton friend. That's all you need to think about. Hey, Mike, go ahead. I'll go live. Mike? Yeah, we met. We're good friends.
He's got the toys. He's got showmanship. And he's got sex appeal. Ladies and gentlemen, from the great Southwest, here's the guru of gadgets, the dapper and dashing Don Bain, the Gadget Professor. Gadget Professor.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to NAB 2014. My name is Don Bain, and of course, I am the Gadget Professor. Thank you so much for tuning in to this amazing broadcast coming to you live from the showroom floor at NAB 2014. We have a lot of guests for you. Actually, we're going to have interviews every 15 minutes, but for our opening interview today, we are very honored to have the folks from Livestream here, and we have one of the co-founders, actually, Mr. Phil Worthington, and we're very excited about that. And they are actually in process, as I'm talking to you, hooking up and getting settled. So a couple things here. We will start off this morning with a half-hour interview, exclusive interview with the folks from Livestream. I got to tell you, they have introduced two things that actually blew me away yesterday. They have a control service that I can't think of enough adjectives to describe it. The control service is absolutely stunning. It's very elegant in design, and in terms of functionality, I was astonished. It really is a nice control service. And I would venture to say, because I am familiar with a lot of competitors, I think this Livestream new control service, in my opinion, is the new thing to match. It's over the top, big time, both visually and from a functionality standpoint of view. And we're going to get a look at that. And of course, we have the other Livestream products here, and we have a guest here who certainly knows everything there is to know about this. So that should be a lot of fun. And then after that, we'll do interviews every 15 minutes. So if you're not familiar with Don Bain and the Gadget Professor, our show comes on every Thursday evening. That's at thegadgetprofessor.com, thegadgetprofessor.com. Our show is actually heard now in 161 countries. Let's make that 169 countries around the world, and that's a lot of fun and amazing to me, so I thank everybody for doing that. Our show basically takes a new topic every week. It could be technical in nature, and usually it is, but I try to pick on things that are new and innovative in the industry, and also things that are creative and will enhance your life and make it fun. So check out the Gadget Professor, and if you want to follow me on Facebook, actually I'm photographing as I'm walking around the showroom floor, and I will actually tweet these photographs and put them on my Facebook page all day and all night, and I have a bunch up there now, and I have a bunch of photos of the new Surface control surface put out by Livestream, because it's fun to photograph additionally. So I hope you'll enjoy the show today, and I think we have our audio and our video going, because I have a million people looking at me and I don't see it. Yep, Mike's giving me thumbs up, so that's great. So let's get started right now, and we're going to bring on our first guest, Mr. Phil Worthington from Livestream. Thank you so much. Great to see you. This is your microphone,
Okay.
and I'm honored to have you as a guest on the Gadget Professor show, and we're talking to a million plus people right now. So let's begin. First of all, I got to begin because this control surface, and Mike, if you can get a close-up of this control surface, this is a game changer in my opinion. It is absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
The ergonomics are over the top.
You got it, you got
The functionality just blew me away when I saw it yesterday. To me, it was jaw-dropping, and it takes a lot to get the Gadget Professor to go like, oh my God, this is unbelievable. And you did it. So,
It worked.
Tell me all about it. And then that wasn't bad enough. You come out with the Google Glass, which,
We have a lot of new stuff.
oh my God. And actually in the background there we have Mr. Jeffrey Powers, who I don't think I've seen him without his Google Glass since it came out. And
I'll join you.
Jeff is a well-known podcaster for sure, and he's smiling, looking on. So Jeff, you're going to enjoy the first-hand look at these Google Glasses from Livestream. So I've done enough talking. Phil, it's all you.
I don't know where to begin. And firstly, sorry for the hoarse voice. I've been speaking all of yesterday. Why don't I begin with the studio?
Okay.
And we'll end with the fun stuff. I mean, we're actually launching a whole new bunch of stuff today, including 2 new versions of our studio software.
Right.
So in case you're not familiar, Studio is our multi-camera live production switcher. That's a version 2 preview come out today. It's available April 24th. And alongside that, 2 new units of the Studio family. So it's an integrated hardware software solution. What we're seeing here is the HD510. This is a portable fold-up unit.
Now, this is a brand new unit, essentially. This is a new addition to your product line.
Absolutely. This is a brand new addition.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's portable unit, touch screen, everything integrated. It's a one-stop shop, live broadcasting
Now,
machine.
form factor-wise, that'll actually fit in a bag. I mean, it's small enough that you can just throw that literally in a bag and go.
It actually literally comes with a bag as well. So we have a customized
There you
Tom
go.
Bin bag. There's a protective cover somewhere lying around so the
Right.
screen doesn't get damaged.
Sure.
And yeah, you're good to go. You can even broadcast without an internet connection because Studio now supports bonding. So you can plug in
Wow.
any number of 4G LTE modems combined with Wi-Fi or Ethernet or any connection that the computer has. It'll bond between them and then rebond and then out to Livestream. As long as you're going through Livestream.
Right, of course. Fantastic. Now, inputs, real quick. Inputs on this were?
So this is 5 inputs. So again, a slight revolution here, which is that we're using twin SDI HDMI inputs, so you can pick and choose, mix and match.
That's significant to me because being in the business, there are a ton, I mean hundreds of thousands of HDMI cameras that are sitting, and people have been reluctant to get into the broadcast space because they had to get an HDI converter or they needed SDI cameras, so it's holding them back.
Yeah.
You've solved that problem.
I mean, the cost is prohibitive. Once you buy one of these, you then need to go out and buy 5 SDI cameras.
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, this is it's targeted at medium level productions, and yeah, it's very likely that they'll be using either one or a combination of HDMI cameras.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That alone is again, it's game changing to me because you'll notice most systems are pushing into the SDI cameras, and I don't think you can buy a semi-decent camera for under $2,500, if that.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, we've gone a step further, and I'll talk you through the Google Glass app in a second.
Sure.
But I want to talk to you about a new thing that we've launched inside Studio called wireless cameras. So it kind of augments the SDI HDMI workflow that we've got here, and it's a way to get video from a range of devices. So all of our mobile apps, our iPhone app, our Android app, the Broadcaster, the Google Glass, all of these things can now be used as wireless cameras going directly into Studio. And that
opens up a lot of doors.
That opens up a lot of doors, and that augments your wired camera experience. So you can be, combining them picture in picture, do whatever you want, as if it was a full quality video feed. So the software ships. You can run, alongside your 5 cameras. You've got 2 remote cameras, the media players, the graphics engine, and all of that can be combined. So it opens up all sorts of production possibilities, like somebody on the field, a sports star, or somebody on the stage wearing a glass, or you could publicize your Wi-Fi access point, and you could bring in feeds from audience members on their iPhones. It's really very, very flexible.
The possibilities and also the price point really make this affordable for anybody who wants to get in this business, particularly if you have a high school, college situation, sports. It's just so portable. Not with the flexibility of the inputs and also the glass.
Yeah, and all of the existing products have got upgrades. So if you already own a broadcaster, it's actually a free firmware upgrade. So your broadcaster now works with Studio, just off the shelf. Yeah.
That's what makes Livestream so popular, because some companies would charge you for the upgrade and charge you for every upgrade. You don't do that.
We don't do that. All software upgrades are always free. We try to take as much of a sort of incremental modular approach as possible. We'll talk about the control surface in a sec, but that's also a modular system that can grow with you as your production grows.
Well, since we talked about the converter here, let's talk a little bit about the input and output configuration and to see how easy it is to use. Now, what a lot of people don't realize about this box, obviously it's quite small and quite portable. Mike, if you can get a close-up of that would be great. So it's light, it's portable, it'll actually fit in your shirt pocket, believe it or not. Now, what people don't realize is that you can take your HDMI camera right now and just take a rubber band if you wanted to, or a piece of Velcro, and strap it on, and you're streaming a live stream, just like that. In
just like that.
A minute?
It's pretty instant. It's a one-stop. Once you've paired it to your account, so we have a system online where you can pair it to your account so that it's easier when you're actually in the production environment.
And you still have your free accounts available. There'll be ads on that. So
we still have free accounts, no ads, no limits.
This is what you have to realize about Livestream. Not only do they have probably the best, arguably the best streaming service that's out there with a lot of variations so that you can customize, a paid option. But these folks have actually allowed you to use this for free. Yes, there'll be ads on it, but you'll be able to stream anywhere in the world for free. If you have one of these boxes, you have a camera, you're streaming, you're live, away to go.
Actually, there's no ads, even for the free
there's
service.
no ads, I don't even know that.
So there's no ads and there's no bandwidth limits. You can stream forever as long as you like without ads for free.
Wow.
Basically, the limitation, the way we structure the payment is it's kind of to do with how much you want to relinquish control of your content. So,
I see.
We give it to you for free, but we ask that you stream on live stream. We ask that your viewers log in so we understand who's watching.
Of course.
And then we have paid plans that grade up from $49 a month all the way up to $9.99. And it just depends how much control you need. So if you need to white label the player, remove the white live stream logo, lock it, geo-block it, take it off our website, it doesn't serve any use for us anymore as content. So, we charge, it's a sliding scale really of how much control you need.
That's awesome. I mean, it's really awesome. And now with the portability of the HD51, to me, it's just a whole new game. Let's talk about the output though, real quickly.
There's actually one more thing on this guy, which, if you don't mind,
no, I don't mind at all.
We just released a new version also today. So. We have a lot of new releases today, which is why I'm so hoarse.
This is why I do this show, folks, so I can learn what's going on. Mike, check this out.
So this is a new version. It actually looks exactly the same. So this has Wi-Fi, Ethernet, and a USB port for doing external 4G modems.
Right.
And we've just released a version today, which we've been working in partnership with Verizon. It now has a built-in 4G LTE modem.
That is so sweet.
So pricing to be confirmed, but that's live now.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. You heard that first on the Gadget Professor show. Remember that.
So now you can literally put it on top of your camera and go. There's no wires, nothing. Yeah.
Talk about innovations. Livestream is always on top of it. They first started out as a streaming company, and now they've added just an outstanding line of product that I think is the best out there personally. I really do.
Thank you.
And I use your materials, and I could attest to the consistency, and you plug it in, literally 5 minutes you're on the air, and you just have zero problems. I've never had a problem.
Awesome.
Not one.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear too.
The goal is to democratize live broadcasting. So, with that goal in mind, we want to be the delivery platform, but also the playback device, the production device. So we have to make both ends of that chain. It's an entire ecosystem.
Sure.
And that's good, not only because everything works together, but also because if something goes wrong, not that it ever does, you can contact one support team and they'll be able to tell you about the broadcast of the studio, the
I was going to bring
that
up. That's an excellent point. And if you followed the Gadget Professor show, that one of the things I harp on is, you're paying money for whatever the piece of equipment is. But inevitably, you at some point in time, especially if you're new to this world, are going to have some technical issues, some technical problems. The one thing about Livestream that is probably the best out there and the fastest out there, I must emphasize how quickly I can dial a number and I get a human on the other end of the phone who
7 days a week,
who knows exactly that piece of equipment.
Yep.
And before I could finish the question, they have the answer already. And I'll tell you that is worth. I can't even put a price on the tech support that Livestream provides. And as I said, it's 7 days a week.
7 days a week.
And there are very, 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 very few companies that will give you that kind of support, and there's no charge for that. And
I think the phone support is part of once you have one of our paid plans. If you have a free plan, we offer email support. So
okay.
we're very proud of our team. Obviously, it
Maybe
takes
I
results,
called because
you
I'm
know. You may have a special deal.
well, I'm a platinum dealer, so what can I tell you? All right.
Okay.
I have a question, though, on the output
Yeah.
of this machine.
So it's got a twin, also HDMI, SDI output, so you can pick and choose as well.
Now, is there more than one output on that?
There's one program output, but you can also run external multi-views. So you can plug in another screen, and part of the software will run and configure the screen how you want it for an external multi-view.
And the weight on that?
The weight is a good question, actually.
About?
Christina, do you know the weight of these? Do you know the weight? We can look. We can
We're
look on the
looking it
text
up
specs
as
and get
we
back
speak.
to you.
Now, the difference between the 51 and let's say the HD 500. Obviously, the SDI right off the bat.
Well, yeah, the twin HDMI SDI inputs. It's also got one less input.
Okay.
And by the way, we still sell the HD 500.
Sure.
The reason we're not showing it at the show is because we've launched a new lineup.
Absolutely,
we have this
new.
new look and feel. It's part of a family. But the HD 500 is a very popular format, so we have no plans of retiring.
It's not going away for sure.
Yeah.
But again, the advantage I think of the 51 is that it opens up those HDMI control capabilities, which again, there's a ton of those HDMI cameras just sitting, and you don't know what to do with them, and you're afraid to get into the streaming, streaming your ball game or your graduation, whatever it may be, because you don't want to spend the money on the SDI cameras. The 51 just eliminates that. You just go in your HDI port and bam.
Yeah, and there's $1,000 difference between the two models as well.
I think the price is extremely reasonable for what you get. I really do.
Yeah, these are $9,999.
We'll call it 10,000.
Let's call it 10,000. I wasn't sure how accurate to be. There's actually a similar sort of sister unit which doesn't have the screen mounted. It's the same internal hardware. It's the HD51. That's an $8,000 unit, minus $1. And then we have our flagship product, which is a 17 SDI input.
Right.
All the bells and whistles and the kitchen sink thrown in. It has 6 terabytes of drives, removable, and thrown in with 2 control surfaces. So it has the control surface and the track expansion module, which isn't here today. So that's a full bundle for $30,000.
Now, this is all on the internet, by the way. You can go to livestream.com/broadcast and all the new equipment, and I'm assuming the new announcement about the upgrade for the Redbox is going to be on there too.
The new broadcaster isn't available for sale yet, but everything else is. So
When's
the
that going to be
Surface,
available?
the studios.
About?
Within a quarter, probably within a month. I don't know. We have to define pricing. We're probably going to bundle it with a year of plan because of the way the LTE data works.
That's great.
So it'll be some kind of unit. You buy the box, you have a year of plan, you have a year of LTE streaming, and it'll be a kind of package like that.
That's fantastic. All right, let's get to it.
Let's get to it. Okay.
I love it. Mike, you want to get a close-up of that control surface?
So this is my personal baby, actually. I've been working on this myself for over a year now.
Really.
Thank you. So what can I say? I mean, it's a control surface for every version of Studio. So that includes the software version, any of our hardware versions, with full control of, obviously, the video mix, program preview bus, but also audio. So this is something that really production switches don't do very often. These are full bi-directional motorized faders that'll link up to everything you do in the studio. Full control of our new graphics engine, which I should just mention. Actually, we've had a major upgrade on this in the new software. So the graphics now are the multi-layered graphics, and inside each of those layers, the graphic elements can be connected to data. So you can pull spreadsheets of names of people walking down a red carpet, or connect to your marketing team putting data into a Google spreadsheet, or Google or RSS feeds, or importing files. So it's a really very flexible data engine that now can drive those graphics. So that's all controlled from here. All the new features in Studio are accessible right here. And we have kind of multifunction UI for.
Now you have some automation in there too, I noticed. As you control something, the volume kind of follows where you go. And
yeah, this is the first version of the software that doesn't exist yet, but we have a live mix mode where you can actually see what's happening in your audio mix as your video mix happens.
I saw that yesterday and I went, wow, just wow.
I think it was designed just for that reaction, actually.
No, and you got it from me. I went, I saw it and I went, oh my God. Is that something that you thought of, or?
Yeah, it was so you can really visualize your video and your audio together. So as you pull the video transition, you can see what's happening.
It's funny because I've never seen that, and it's exactly what happened. You can actually see the audio and the video. It just clicks in your head from a visual standpoint of view, from a visceral production standpoint of view. It's just like a natural occurrence, and it's the first time I've ever seen it implemented like that, and again so elegantly. And what I would highly recommend is go to the livestream.com/broadcast webpage, and you'll see in the lower right-hand corner Studio Surface, and they actually have a quick video that explains the functionality of it and actually demonstrates it, and you'll actually see the controls move, and it's it's pretty amazing. It really is.
That was fun to make.
They've done a marvelous job of not only designing something that's ergonomically sound and makes sense and feels right, but the functionality that Livestream has managed to pack into a small form factor is truly remarkable. A lot of times you get these giant control surfaces, and it looks like you need a PhD in electronics to operate it, and some of these systems you almost do. But what Livestream has, in my opinion, has done is taken the styling, crisp ergonomic design. They've also used colors. That unfortunately, we don't have it plugged in, but if you go on the website and take a look at the video, the coloration really dramatically adds to the impact and makes the show operation, when you're actually producing the show, so intuitive because of the colors.
Yeah.
And it all blends in to make the total package. And to me, this was the missing link in the Livestream
definitely
product line. And boy, you have
especially for the larger switches, because nobody really wanted to buy a 17-channel switcher without a surface.
Yeah, it's brutal from a keyboard.
Yeah, and we spent a lot of time actually getting like these these are solid NKK caps, keys inside, but we've wrapped everything in a nice silicone. These are rubberized
That's
caps.
why I keep
Everything's very
mentioning the
tactile.
ergonomics of it, and that really adds to the quality control and just the general overall functionality and usability of a control surface. Because let me tell you, when you're producing a show live, I mean, you can't be fumbling around, and there's other companies, which I won't mention, that have a keyboard that's as big as my desk that I'm on, and literally there's too many buttons and there's too many things going on. This takes care of all that. And also, just the bezel in the front, just lifting the control surface up. It's a small thing.
This is a machined aluminium body. It's very carefully crafted.
That's what was striking to me about the Livestream new control surface, just the way it was designed, and just the degrees.
So, how about a little view?
There you go.
There you go.
Mike, you want to get a close-up of that? I mean, look at that form factor. I mean, that's elegance in design in electronics. And a lot, years ago, this wasn't even, the word ergonomics and comfortability and visualization didn't exist. But Livestream, I think, has taken it to the next level. And I think you've set a new level. I really do.
Thank you.
For control surface technology, I'm very proud of the product, and you should be.
We'll have
too.
to get you one.
Really, it's an amazing engineering feat, and well worth the wait. And as we said, it goes across the whole platform now.
Yeah, it does. And thank you to the team, by the way, who worked on this. And this is part of a family. So this is the first unit, and we actually have a second unit already launched here at NAB as well.
Right.
So we have an expansion. So these guys, if you can see here, there's a sort of magnetic catch. The units will snap together. So we have an expansion that adds another 15 tracks. So for a total of 20 motorized tracks.
Really?
Yeah.
That is brilliant.
And so when you're running in the
That
1700,
is brilliant.
That is brilliant.
It is.
I like that too. Yeah. I mean, we need it. I mean, you're running a 17 input switcher. Obviously, 5 tracks is not enough, so it's a necessity. But the system was designed to be modular from the get-go, and so we're going to be building new modules. We're going to be building media playback, replay, all sorts of stuff like that.
Very exciting.
All in the same family. Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Well, what's the price point on this?
These are $6,000 or $5,999. Yeah.
I think it's a bargain. I mean, if I were buying a unit, I wouldn't buy the unit without the control surface. I just wouldn't. Just because of the functionality of it alone and the time it's going to save you, and also it's going to enhance your production capabilities beyond your comprehension. The ability to add on to this, there's no one.
I think that sorry.
I don't think there's anybody that's doing that. I don't know anybody that's making a modular control surface that will magnetically.
Well, I mean, I think there are some companies that are doing the modularity, the snapping on, but I don't think there's anybody working in video production who does a surface. Well, most people make a surface. If you upgrade your system, you generally have to throw the surface away, get a new one.
I've done that a couple times.
Yeah. we kind of want you to feel like you can grow into it. So, we can't make the hardware on this grow, but, you can buy the software and build your own hardware, or perhaps you exchange this unit. You don't have to throw this away. You just have to get another module. Or as we release new ones, you can add to your production.
That's so unique. It's extraordinary in this business. It really is.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really, well, I hope it's going to be a hit.
Well, I think it's a game changer. I personally think it's a game changer. I think we're going to be seeing and hearing a lot more from Livestream. Phil, is there anything else that you'd like to add? Because I gotta see. I know we're running a tad late. I gotta see these.
Okay,
check this out. Mike, get a close up.
So this is something we also launched yesterday. So we have a Google Glass app. It's the first live streaming app on Google Glass. It's a one-touch live streaming. So you pair it to your account by looking at a QR code, and then you tap once to live stream, and then you're live on live stream.
How cool is that?
It's incredible. If you try it, it's really fun. So your viewers can actually chat to you on the website through the chat, and you'll see the chat appearing in your eyepiece.
Oh my God.
You can talk back through the stream, and it's just an incredible camera for us. So this is revolutionary. And this is, again, this comes in 2 modes. So this can stream directly to live stream, just as I described, or it can be paired with the studio as part of a larger production. So it just becomes an incredibly
versatile camera. Is that available now?
That's available now for download for free on the website.
I'm speechless. I don't even know what to say. Over the top, fantastic, and I just commend you on a phenomenal job, really.
Thank you.
Phenomenal new product release, phenomenal products, phenomenal support. If you are at all thinking about getting into the streaming business or streaming your church services or whatever, you can now do it very affordably and high, like top quality products from the folks at Livestream.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for being here.
I very much enjoyed this. Thank you so
Me
much.
too.
I appreciate your time. And come back on the Gadget Professor show anytime. We'd love to have you.
Be a pleasure.
Really, my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, there we have it, folks. You have seen, I think, the best of the best. Livestream, without question, has hit a grand slam, not even a home run. I would call it a grand slam in terms of functionality, coming up with just not one new product, but several new products, several upgrades, an upgrade on the red box. Wow, I don't know what else they could have done. And if you were here at NAB, they also have a new booth, and they really have gone overboard on that, and their booth itself is something to see. So what I'm going to do is a little later on in the day, I'm going to actually go up to the Livestream booth and shoot some video, and then I'll put it up on our Facebook page, and you'll be able to see all the latest and greatest from the folks at Livestream. It's quite a company, and I think they're definitely on the path for growth, and I'm very impressed with them. I really am. So our next guest, I believe, is here, and we will meet Mr. Damon Sempaebon. Hello.
Good morning.
Good
Damon
morning.
Sempaebon.
Damon, how are you?
I'm just fine today.
And you are from?
International Datacasting?
International Datacasting. Great. Well, I thank you for coming in today. We are running a tad late. Actually, we're not. We're exactly on time. That's a new first. We're actually on time. That's great. So tell us a little bit about your company.
So International Datacasting really began as one of the first companies doing IP over satellite.
Okay.
Back in the 80s when very few people were actually doing IP.
Move in here a little bit. I just want to make sure your audio's okay, Mike? Okay.
So over the years, we've really leveraged that data expertise into audio, into video, into digital cinema distribution.
Right.
And we have some pretty exciting things we're showing here at the show that I was hoping to talk about today.
It's your show. Be my guest. Let's start. It's exciting technology.
So I'll start with something we call Laser MPS, a multi-program splicer. What we're really doing is we're allowing video content owners to do ad insertion or custom program customization at the edge, where today a cable company could do ad insertion or they could swap programs, but a major broadcaster, once the broadcast leaves their studio, is really stuck with a single feed. So what we do is we allow at the edge a very thin, very intelligent appliance to customize, act like a splicer, server, receiver, video output device.
And is that overlay?
It's an entirely overlay technology to existing linear architectures.
Okay. So I'm reaching out here now.
Sure.
There are hundreds of thousands at this point of professional, semi-professional podcasters. And we use the internet, we use the IP, all that stuff. Is that something that they would consider using, or is it cost prohibitive?
Well,
Tell me the truth.
It's not cost prohibitive, but the perfect broadcaster is really someone who's delivering over satellite or IP to a large number
it's more
of...
like an enterprise.
It's more of an enterprise solution. So, for example, a DVB T2 broadcaster is a perfect example of a broadcaster.
Now, there's
that
no
could use
other
our
way
equipment.
to do that I'm aware of right now.
As far as we're aware of, you could do it, but it would take an entire rack of equipment, where we're offering a single 1 RU, very cost-effective, very small, simple device. You can look at it as a broadcast studio in a box.
Now, how does this technology work, if I may ask? Obviously, you're using compression. You're using a lot of stuff is happening in there.
So at the head end, at the main broadcast facility, files are ingested into our system. We then control delivery of the files either through the web or through a satellite trickle feed. Each receiver identifies those files that are meant for it, captures them. When triggers are generated, the same kinds of triggers you would use for triggering systems today, we intercept that trigger. We decide, okay, we're going to inject in a commercial here, we're going to change the program here, we're going to black out a sporting event, whatever's necessary.
What kind of files can you utilize?
So the files look identical to live broadcast video.
Oh, really? Okay.
So they're really, call them transport stream recording type files. So from the downstream equipment's point of view, they don't ever know the compressed video changed.
Right. Now, is there a web interface? How do you ingest? How do you get it from point A to point B? So I have a bunch of bumpers, and I'm assuming I can do this just like on the fly, right? If I want.
So we can interface cleanly to your automation system.
Okay.
So for many operators, there's no extra operator action. For many other operators, there is a process of ingesting and defining if your automation system doesn't already support that. So we support legacy automation as well as the more advanced modern.
Your system essentially integrates to
integrates
the
very
standards
cleanly
that are out there. Pricing, I have no idea. And that's a tough question, I know.
It is a tough question, and being an engineering guy, I try to avoid answer the pricing question.
Okay.
So I guess the short answer is it's about a fifth of what it would cost to do it with alternate technology.
Really?
So it's never been cost effective before, and we're finding it.
So essentially what you've done, at least from what I'm hearing, is to do this any other way would be, as he said, you can do it, but it's quite complicated to do. So you've now reduced this into essentially an appliance, if you will.
Certainly.
That will allow you to do this insertion. And it can be done pretty much on the fly. Like you get the file in, you hit it, and boom,
That's the goal.
It's gone. I mean, that's sweet unto itself. Certainly another way to add revenue quickly, and it works.
Yeah, we found that the ad revenue piece is important, and people like it, but the piece that surprised us, the more important piece, was all the regulatory requirements. For example, in Asia, where you may have a program that you're delivering that isn't appropriate for certain countries, you can play an alternate program. You may have an advertisement for perhaps liquor that isn't allowed in certain countries or isn't allowed before a certain time period in certain countries. So you can deal with all these regulatory requirements because ads are nice. You can add 15 or 20% revenue, but the regulatory requements are you cannot be on the air with the program or you cannot take the advertisement at all.
This was not an easy product to develop.
Not at all. This has been about 3 years in.
3 years
from the beginning to where we are today.
3 years to develop that.
It's the second generation. The first generation has been out for about a year and a half and being used. The new generation that does 10 programs at once is.
That's pretty impressive.
It's been a lot of hard work and we're very proud of it. And it's only one of our big announcements at the show, but it is.
Let's hear some more announcements.
So, we've also entered in. We're an encoding company as well. We do compression encoding primarily for the contribution market.
Right.
So first off, we have a new MPEG-4 422 10-bit, really high-end sports compression unit.
Okay.
Lowest latency of any of the major brands. We've reduced the delay by half, So where
Really?
most people are offering 300 to 400 milliseconds, now we're talking 150.
You know, the latency thing doesn't sound like a lot when you're talking about milliseconds, but trust me.
It's huge in the interview
It is.
situation.
It is.
And what we found, we originally were working towards news, and news guys, they love it. They love lower latency.
Sure.
But most of the news broadcasters have gotten used to it. The good guys,
Right.
the professionals.
They compensate for it, essentially.
But where we found that it's becoming most popular is the sports broadcasts.
Isn't that interesting?
Halftime show, they're kicking back and forth to the studio, and they want this kind of interaction to where it feels like they're in the same room. And you know, these are pro athletes for the most part. They're not professional broadcasters that are going back
Right.
and forth. And they found for them, the delay really just kills them and makes everything. It's not that happy kind of halftime environment they're looking for.
That's great.
So we've also announced to the show, we've entered into a partnership with a few other people, the European Space Agency,
Right.
Fraunhofer, very, very powerful German algorithm company, as well as RAI, the Italian state broadcaster, to produce a 4K HEVC encoding system.
That's why they call themselves international datacasting.
We are international. I think we have equipment in virtually every country in the world.
Okay, quick question. I'm going to catch you off guard. I'm still trying to figure out how many countries are there in the world.
I don't know. They changes daily, right?
That's what I'm finding. That's what I'm finding. Okay. Just a trick question. Didn't mean to throw you off because, well, go ahead.
No, a few years ago I joined one of these clubs where you're supposed to keep track of how many countries you've been to.
Oh, is that right?
And they actually list about 350.
No, you're kidding.
Because
I
they
don't
also
think there's
list,
anywhere near that.
well, they list like 7 Soviet republics, and you get credit
Well, that's
for each
changing.
province
Hey,
in Canada.
that's changing almost
That's
by the day.
changing weekly as well.
Especially over there.
So, no, we are everywhere. It's what we've been doing. The 4K HEVC is really a technology project.
Right.
There's no product here at the show for us yet, but this time next year we expect to be shipping this product.
That's great.
For digital cinema.
Sounds like you're on the cutting edge of technology for sure. And your booth is located?
So we're at South Upper 3710.
Okay.
Where with the other, call them transmission encoding type
I am going to
vendors.
try to get up there either later on today or tomorrow and shoot a little video and put it up on the Gadget Professor's page. And
I would appreciate that.
I would
We'd
love
love to
to
have
do
you.
that.
We'd love to have you. Thank
Can
you.
give me a little tour up there?
I would love to do it, sir.
Okay, we'll see more shortly. We got to get to our interviews today, but I will actually go up there, shoot some footage, and post it on the Facebook page and the Gadget Professor webpage. And if they want more information about your company, they can obviously go to your website.
Obviously. Yeah, it's datacast.com.
Great.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
Cheers.
much. I appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
It's amazing the technology that's out there, and we're running a tad ahead of schedule. So, Mike, what I'm going to do is something wild and crazy because, hey, I'm the Gadget Professor. So let's get Callie to come in and say hello to the fans. And Callie, come on in for a minute. So we have a surprise guest. She doesn't know who the hell I am.
Hi.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. I'm Don Bain, the Gadget Professor, and I saw you saying hello to everybody, so I figured I'd invite you on and say
Sure.
hello to you. So what's
thank
happening?
you.
Well, it's my pleasure. I've been following you for years, and a couple years ago, I met Leo, and I dragged him into, I think it was at a CES. I don't even remember. It was about 4 or 5 years ago, Mike, we did that?
He's a much more interesting interview.
I don't know about that. But I always enjoy watching your podcasts, and you're always fun. And what amazes me, okay, is that you talk fast, but I can understand it, and I get the whole thing. And I said, I talk too much. And I got to try to model, my rhythm on Callie, but I can't do it. It's you.
It's just
the genetics.
I guess so. I'm all hyped up on coffee all the time and bacon, of course. So,
Yes.
I'm just constantly going. We have fun. Our world, we have a worldwide audience, and sometimes the fast talking is a little fast for non-English speakers. But what's interesting is I hear from time to time that they learn English from me because they're trying so hard to figure out what I'm saying.
It's very interesting because I can barely speak English, But
Can't we
and
all?
I know a little bit of Yiddish, but that's a whole nother story. But I always find that other languages sound so fast, particularly Chinese or Japanese. It sounds like they don't breathe when they speak.
Right.
And I've always wondered if English sounds as fast to them, but people who speak Spanish tell me no.
Yeah, I don't think, as a general rule, English sounds very fast to foreigners, especially like Chinese or German. But we can all change the world, right? Let's start talking faster.
We try.
We need a hashtag. Fast talkers.
So tell me, you've been here for it's only a day, because I've only been here for a day.
Yeah.
What have you seen that's like, wow, this is really cool?
Well, so we got here on Sunday. Yesterday we were at the Panasonic booth. John P. and I are spokespeople for their live stream efforts, and so I got to see a lot of really cool stuff from them.
3D?
No, I didn't. They're really showcasing the 4K. I think they may have some 3D there, but
last year we were invited to something by Panasonic, and I'm not a big 3D fan. That's just me personally.
And I'm not either. Like I don't enjoy putting glasses on and watching 3D.
That's exactly it.
But
that's interesting.
4K, if you haven't seen it in person, as soon as you have the ability to, you have to see it, because I get a lot of questions like, is 4K really necessary? Is it really that much different than HD? It is.
We talked about that yesterday on the show a little bit, and I said, you had the old cathode ray tubes that I grew up with, and
the what?
That I was used to. And then anyway, let's jump to the plasmas and to the LCD panels that are jaw-dropping with the 1080p. And as I said, you see all these beautiful women that you watch that are news announcers, and they're gorgeous. And then you got the 1080p, and all of a sudden you start seeing the little flaws, and just the little things. You're like, how much better can it get? Where do you see 4K? Oh my God!
It is amazing.
And there's talk of 6K and 8K now.
Yes, I hear there's a whole 8K display here at the North Hall.
Have you seen that yet?
I just literally arrived to the NMX booth because I wanted to see Rick and everybody here.
Right.
But I am making my way. I don't know where it is, but I'm going to make my way there today.
It's truly amazing, the 4K. I think it's going to come down to the point where everybody has just bought the 1080p, and I wouldn't doubt if 2 years from now they got to figure out a way to transmit it though.
Oh yeah, I mean content. First of all, you got to shoot it, right? And companies like Panasonic are trying to are putting out cameras that actually will record it, and file transfers that are going to be fast enough to get to the end result that you can edit, and then you deliver to the consumers' TVs.
It will happen.
It'll just take some time. And 8K, as awesome as it is right now, it's not going to be seen in the consumer's home for several years to come.
But we were talking about that, 4K 2 years ago, 3 years ago, saying, we're never going to see it.
Right, but now you can buy 4K TVs.
Well, you've been a wonderful sport.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great to meet you.
Here's the Gadget Professor card. I don't have any T-shirts because we can't afford them, but thank you so much for being a good sport.
Thank you.
It's very nice meeting you.
You have a great rest of the show.
Callie Lewis, you got to check her out. Unbelievable.
Oh,
really.
You're
One
so
of the
sweet.
Best, if not the best. Really, and I mean that.
Thank you.
I mean, I just bounced this off her. We don't know each other. She was standing there, and I just called her, and she's very gracious, very personable, and just a lovely lady. So
I love having fun and talking tech. What's better?
That's awesome. Thank you so much.
You have a great day.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Thank you. Well, it's always fun to tune into the Gadget Professor because even I don't even know what I'm going to do. So it's always great. And what's nice is Callie's actually a superstar in this business. And you could see why. I really just dragged her in here to say, hey, hello, how are you? And no problem, man. She just came right in and said, hey, what's going on? And that's what I love about meeting people in this world. And it's a lot of fun and very rewarding. So I hope you enjoy that impromptu interview. And we're actually getting our next interview. Now, I am really, really, really interested. I don't see these people, but I don't know them personally. And I'm hoping that they're here. Mike's shaking his head yes, but this company is called WebTuner, and I haven't seen this. I just saw it on the website. I got to find out about this. It looks really, really cool. Here we go. Come right in.
Hi.
You're Bernie.
I am Bernie.
I am Don Bain, the Gadget Professor.
Hi, Don.
Hi. Thank you so much for coming in. I can't wait to see the WebTuner and hear all about it. I was on your website. And I must say, Bernie, when I read your website and read your biography, I smiled and I laughed and I said, who wrote that? Because it was very well done. And I got to tell you what captured my brain. You describe yourself as a serial entrepreneur. I love that. I love that. That is so cool.
Yeah, well, WebTuner happens to be my 7th company.
Okay.
My first company was Gemstar. We invented VCR Plus and the electronic
God.
program guide, a product you've been using every day for the last 25 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is awesome. So you are a serial entrepreneur. How about
Yes.
that?
Yes. And
That's
I was
great.
also the first CEO of Priceline, and I
Really?
was the first CEO of HD Radio.
I'm
And-
honored. I'm honored to have you here.
I'm honored to be here.
Well, thank you very much. Let's get to it. What is this thing? It's so
You wanted
cool.
our slides?
Huh? Yeah, actually, Mike, we have a stick. Can you put that in the TriCaster? Mike will load that right up for you.
Great. So WebTuner has set out to develop an end-to-end broadband television platform.
Okay.
Unlike all the media streaming companies
Okay.
who are trying to kill the industry,
Should I name a couple of them because our folks
Sure.
might not understand what you're talking about?
Roku,
So,
Apple TV,
okay, Boxy
Amazon,
Box.
Boxy Box, which is gone.
Yes.
Yes.
not
Fire
a bad
TV,
thing.
which just happened.
Yes.
WebTuner is very broadcast and content and advertiser friendly.
Okay.
We wanted to do two things: have the best technology and fit into the existing economic ecosystem of television, because we truly believe that the killer app for television is watching television. It's not being an app launcher. It's not doing all these things. It is being a great platform for watching television regardless of the device you watch television on.
Okay.
So the first thing we did is look around for an IP-only set-top box, and there weren't any. So we invented our own.
You got to be kidding me.
I am not kidding you.
Mike's running back and forth, so I apologize for that. Mike just ran back. He's getting his exercise. This is the WebTuner, and I'm going to hold it so Mike can get a close-up of it. I'll hold it this way. So it really looks like almost a small extension cord or a charger for your cell phone. Okay, and here you go. Okay, so you got an Ethernet port on there, and you got an HDMI port, and oh my God, that's my first impression right now. Tell me more.
Okay.
You really have my attention.
So what's in this? This is a plug-in computer.
Okay.
This device has a 1.5 gig dual-core processor, half a gig video card,
Really?
a gig of RAM, 16, 32, or 64 gigs of flash. It has dual band Wi-Fi, both 2.4 and 5.
Really?
It's Bluetooth BLE and Zigbee RF enabled.
Wow.
All in here. And
Now, You can
Ethernet.
see the graphics. We have them up right now on that monitor. Actually, can we put those up again? And can you put that graphic up a second time there? Thanks, Justin. So there's the photo. Can you describe a little bit about that's your control?
That's our set-top box. It is.
But your remote control is on the left.
Yes, and
Okay.
so this box also happens to be highly secure. We write our DRM at the hardware level, so
Right.
it's very secure for both content coming in and content going out, like transactions.
Okay, we can take that graphic off.
The other thing we invented was a 7-button remote control.
Okay.
So on one side we
Mike,
have
can you get a
7
close-up of that
buttons.
control?
We're on off, volume up and down mute, change channel, navigation, and menu, play pause, and this magic interaction button. The other side has a full QWERTY keyboard and a
ingenious.
duplication of the navigation.
Very ingenious.
It's also a very smart device. It speaks to the box with RF. It speaks to the television with IR. So you'll
Okay,
need
now-
one box and one remote.
Now, there's a difference between the IR and the RF. We want to talk a little bit about that.
Well, RF is radio frequency, and since this device will probably be behind the furniture,
Right.
we're going to speak to it with radio frequency
Right, because
control.
that travels better than the IR.
Yes.
Usually that's, direct contact,
Right.
point to point. You want to see each other. So
And
they've
I-
already thought
right.
around that, which is good on
Right,
your part.
and TVs work with IR remotes,
Right.
infrared, and you need direct line of sight. So
Correct.
we have both in this device.
Brilliant.
But we're really not a software, a hardware company, although we are. We have a platform, a robust platform to create virtual cable companies. So we can work with existing incumbents or anybody who wants to become an end-to-end virtual cable company. So we have 3 pieces. Our system is 4 pieces. Our hardware, a new guide. Gemstar, my first company, invented the EPG. So this is a new guide that's more like a browser because the grid can't handle more than 40 channels comfortably, 40 to 60. So there's too much content out there today. So we have a new guide, and it does the 3 things that modern guides have to have. Every viewer in the household gets a personalized guide. It has very robust search.
Okay, we have the graphics up right now.
Yeah, we have very robust search, and we have a recommendation engine. The other thing it does is it integrates all content. Live, VOD, any of the internet services, any kinds of new content that pop up. For example, Stanford streaming courses. Since we're fully interactive, you could use the keyboard on the remote, or since it's Bluetooth in the box, you could connect a full Bluetooth keyboard as well. So there are education applications.
Let me try to break this down a little bit. We have the ability to watch TV, our regular channels that's on your cable or whatever, your HD antenna.
Yes.
You also have the ability to, I reluctantly use the word surf the net, but if you wanted to watch podcasts or netcasts or YouTubes or things like that.
No.
Okay.
Yes, technically, yes.
Okay.
But since we believe the killer app for television and watching television,
Right.
we are, to date, we've walled it to professionally produced content.
Okay. And that's going to give me a complete control guide of everything that's available.
Yes, and you'll be able to find what you want when you want it very easily, and everything in the guide is cross-linked. I'll give you an example. If you're watching a show and you press for metadata and you'll see several buttons. One is cast and crew. You can click on cast and crew and go through every actor, even the director in the show, see what
Really?
else they've done, click on that, and you jump to it.
So if I wanted to watch something from Christopher Walken.
Yes, we also have search. So you turn the remote over, you type, I guess Walken would be the fastest way, or you could
Right.
type his whole thing. But usually in 3 letters you
Do
can
you like
find it.
Christopher Walken?
Yes.
Okay.
So everything, you can find all the television shows he's going to be on, all the
Really?
movies that are available that he was in,
Wow.
all the awards he's won, if
Get
any.
out of town.
And you can click on that and you'll see the things that won the awards and even the talk shows he's appeared on. If you press the talk show, you
That is
go into the
extraordinary.
segment that he was on the talk show.
So you instantaneously have a database that's going out and searching and bringing that in seconds?
Yes, we ingest
Or are you
metadata.
waiting for that thing to scroll
Well,
and find, you know?
Since we have a very smart device close to the TV, the more you watch, the more we know you, and the more we can bring the stuff you would most likely
so
want to
learning
watch forward.
functionality going on
Yes,
in that
there
also.
is. And this device is a very smart device next to the TV.
Wow.
So even though we broadcast over the internet, we deliver the content over the open internet, it's totally encrypted, so nothing could be taken, and it decrypts in the box.
So it's only going to bring in essentially what you're bringing in now. It's not going to bring in more channels per se?
Oh, no. Because we narrowcast and don't broadcast,
Right.
we can offer unlimited numbers of channels. So we
understand.
could have channels, the regular channels you get on your cable or satellite today, and we can add ethnic channels if you want Chinese channels or any other
Are
kinds
those
of
added through a subscription?
It's the way our partners want to do it. I would say yes.
Okay. So I'm just asking because I don't know. That's why
Yes.
I have you here.
Yes.
If I'm in Arizona and I'm from Boston and I wanted to get a Boston news channel, I'd have to find a service that actually offers that, and then
No,
how would that work, or it can't be done?
It can be, technically, of course, it can be done.
Of course.
Because we can offer
feed
the
is
world's
there.
content, and
Right.
but because the content rights people insist that you geocode. So if you're in Arizona, you would get Arizona news
Right.
unless they lifted that
That's
restriction.
not going to happen in
But
Arizona.
technically,
Right. It
yes.
can happen.
Technically, it's like think of the satellite companies.
Right.
It's
I think
countrywide.
someday that will happen.
Yes.
I don't know when. There's a lot of legalities and a lot of money at stake.
Yes,
here,
that's
which
not-
that's the holdup. It's not the technical ability to do it.
No, definitely not. And so what we've been telling the incumbents, the satellite guys, the cable guys, we've been doing a lot of talking to NCTC. In fact, Rich Fickle is a big proponent of WebTuner, and we're talking to their members, which represent 24 million subscribers. But the nice thing about them to us is they don't have their own R&D.
Right.
So we could be the R&D and move them
And
from
Lord
their
knows
current.
you have the experience and
Yes.
the background to do that.
So from the current ecosystem into the new one for the TV, for the OTT generation, while maintaining their current base. And so we're working closely with them. We've been talking to all the big guys as well,
Right.
because what we do is disruptive evolution. We are disruptive in the way we can, with the things we could do on TV, but we're trying to have evolution, not revolution, and help the incumbents move into the next generation of television with all its capabilities. What we decided to do was bring broadband to TV, not TV to broadband.
I think what you have here is literally game-changing technology. It's gonna ultimately, this is going to affect the way everybody watches TV. That's what I'm seeing right now.
Actually, we've had a lot of press this week, from the Wall Street Journal to GigaOM to Multichannel, to something that came out today and listed us the 5th most interesting company at NAB after Cisco, Sony, Akamai, and Bright
Isn't that
Cove.
right? I told you I was
Yes.
interested. When I started the broadcast this morning, I said, there's this company, WebTuner. I'm really interested to see what that is. It's very, very interesting.
Well, so far I only told you about 2 of our parts, the hardware and the guide.
Bring it on.
The middle piece is an audience measurement system that provides 100% real-time data.
How accurate is it? Because, we have places called Nielsen and
100%
100%.
accurate, real-time clickstream data.
Really?
Yes.
That's impressive.
So we can use that to do the most exciting piece to broadcasters and advertisers, which is a true addressable advertising platform.
Wow.
So all of the ads that broadcasters run, whether they're national avails or local avails,
Right.
can become hyper-targeted, interactive, and new revenue stream, transaction enabled.
Wow.
And we're demoing it, the box, running in our booth at Sprocket. Yesterday was actually our exit from stealth. We've been very stealthy working on this for a lot of years because it's very hard. And we stayed stealth until we were ready to come to market, and we've had lots of patents issue, and we felt that now was the time because there's so much interest and everything is just, one more set-top box. But this is not one more set-top box.
No,
because
it's
what
a game changer.
Yeah, so imagine an Indian television company that wants to use our box in their system. Do you think Roku could be licensed to use their box? No.
You're not even in the same space.
Yes. Can Amazon Fire TV do that? No. Can Apple TV do that? No. We have the ability to do that.
Now, this product's available, ready to roll
Our UX is ready to license in May.
in May.
The boxes are being manufactured right now by Jabil Circuit, a $20 billion contract manufacturer headquartered in the U.S. And they'll be ready for mass production end of summer.
Well, we'll certainly have to keep an eye on that. Now, if I come up to your booth, I don't know about today, but maybe tomorrow, can I catch a little video and
Yes,
get a little tour? Would I be able to
actually
do
we're
that?
doing full demonstrations of the
perfect.
service running on the box in our booth in Sprocket, 2254, if you
Okay.
want to come see it. In addition, we have lots of applications for this device, because what we built is not merely a set-top box. Our first use case is video, because that's where the money is today, right? But people have now approached us for other uses for this device. We could stream very serious games to all the rooms in your house. Yes. We can do digital display. Imagine when you have digital displays with computers at each display. Now you can replace it with this and have a web interface so you could change the display at your whim. So those are only a couple of things we've done, and this is an open platform. We run it on top of Android, and so there are a lot of things smart developers will think of for uses for our box.
It's over the top, very impressive.
Thank you.
And you, ma'am, are a dynamo.
Oh,
A
double thank
dynamo.
you.
Really.
Double
I'm
thank you.
Very, very impressed. I am definitely going to keep an eye on this technology. You are welcome to come back to the Gadget Professor anytime. I'd love to keep in touch with you.
Yes, and you have a personal invite for personal invitation from us. Come when you can.
Great.
We'll be here through Thursday.
Thank you so much. I
You're
really
quite
appreciate you
welcome.
taking the time out of your. I know you're very busy, but we have fans, millions of fans all over the country, and this is where they get their information from. And this is a game changer. I'm going to keep my eye on this, and we're going to see a lot more from this company. Believe me.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to
You're
come
very,
and visit
very,
with
very
you
welcome,
and to your listeners.
And again, you're welcome on the Gadget Professor show anytime.
Thanks. Pleasure.
Have a great day. Have a great show. And
Pleasure.
very, very, very impressive.
Thank you.
Put an extra very in there.
Thank you.
Awesome
We've heard
stuff.
that before.
I'm sure you have.
But we like to hear it, so tell us again.
Exactly. Thank you. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day. I think that's game-changing technology. There's not much that they didn't think of, and the detail in the design and the development of the product, it speaks for itself. Now, there are so many different approaches today, and as she mentioned, the set-top boxes, the Roku boxes, the Apple TVs, the Amazon Fire, they're coming out with new boxes on a daily basis. And those are primarily for ingestion of, let's say, podcasts or YouTube, things that are on the internet that you would watch. Well, they've taken a different route, and essentially I think what we've done is they've opened up the gates now for professional broadcasters to accomplish a lot of things, such as just the advertising alone, the way that they could monetize the advertisements. And apparently the way that would work is they run an ad, and you can, from that remote control, instantly click it and purchase something, and then the advertiser realizes that their ads are working because they're seeing the sales come in. And that's what it's all about in that business, is monetizing the programs. The ability to do that database search is just remarkable, that they can do it that quickly. So if you wanted to see a John Wayne movie or Christopher Walken, you're going to be able to search, and like she said, it's going to bring up all the shows he's been on, what's upcoming. Well, John Wayne won't be doing many more, but you get the general idea. It's a brilliant idea, and the space that it takes up, it looked like a phone charger, quite frankly. And there's a ton of there's a computer packed in that little baby. It does a lot. It's quite remarkable. So we'll keep an eye on the WebTuner and see what comes up with that. And definitely a dynamo. You can just tell some of the things that she's created are mind-boggling. So I see Mike talking. We have 4Corp coming up. 4Corp. I don't know if they're here. Mike, speak to me. Okay, we have a new guest coming on. I've just found out that now, and like I said, when you watch the Gadget Professor, you never know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I have my sheet here with everything on it, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So I don't know who's next, but we're going to find out. Hi.
Hi.
Hiya.
So I'm Martin Turner from Inmarsat.
Martin, how are you?
I'm very well. Very well indeed. How are you?
It's too early to tell how I am. I don't know yet.
Day two. It's
Now,
going to
I'm not sure what you do, so you got to start.
I'm going to tell you.
You are on the Gadget Professor show. You're now being viewed by millions of people around the world.
Well,
are you nervous yet?
Well, I spent 25 years at the BBC as a reporter and correspondent, so I've sort of been on this side. 25. I'm older than I look, alas.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's pretty impressive. I like the BBC.
Do you?
Yeah. Although offline we'll have a chat about the BBC.
Offline,
I can't. I have one.
You can't say what you want to say.
I have
on air.
one concern, and it's very political. And I the Gadget Professor, I never get involved in it. But since he said he was with the BBC for 25 years, if I get a chance to see him later, he's going to run when he gets done with this interview. I'll ask him a question just to get his opinion. But I'm done chit chatting.
So we've done that bit. I'll tell you what we're doing at the show.
Okay, it looks cool.
Yeah. So this is a new satellite phone that Inmarsat's just launched.
Get out of town! It's a satellite phone. Hey, Mike, get a close up of that.
So that allows you to talk wherever you are in the world.
This is the
apart from the
antenna,
north
folks,
and
I know
apart
that.
from the north and south pole. Very robust. You can. It's designed.
It's light.
It's designed for people who really get out into the really remote areas.
Now this is not going to a Verizon tower. This is going to a satellite.
That's going to a satellite in geostationary orbit over the equator. Yep.
And what's the range?
So as long as you've got line of sight to the satellite, you can use that anywhere in the world. A very, very good voice quality. It's got tracking on it, so for journalists, aid workers, or even if you're going on a long distance hike and you want to be sure that people know where you are, this can track where you are.
What about cloud cover?
Doesn't mind.
It doesn't matter. Rain.
Doesn't care.
Let me ask you a crazy question. This was interesting to me. I drove to New York from Boston once, and the Gadget Professor, you may not know this, maybe you do know this, I have absolutely no sense of direction. I mean, none. And my wife gets very upset with me because I really have a bad sense of direction. However, being the Gadget Professor, I have a GPS, and now I have the phone, and I don't need a sense of direction. I program where I'm going to go,
Yep.
and it takes me there. Well, when I got into New York City, the GPS worked flawless when I got into New York City, but once I got into the downtown area, I had no reception.
No.
And it was a nice sunny day, and the reason I had no reception is because the tall buildings literally broke up
Yep.
the signal.
Yep.
And of course, it wasn't very pleasant, but I got where I needed to go eventually.
You
the
had some
old-fashioned
full and frank discussions with some New Yorkers, I guess.
Yes, that is true. So my question to you is, if I'm in New York City walking up and down the streets, is that going to affect this at all?
It sure is, because if it can't see
an
the
honest
satellite,
answer.
if it can't see the satellite, it ain't going to work.
So
but it's not
nothing
designed,
else will work either.
It's not designed to work for use in a city unless the cell phone network goes down. So what we found is that people are buying these now like an emergency backup communications device, because we all know that the cell phone network is great when it works, but it isn't. It can't be 100% reliable. And in the UK, the government has turned the network off at particular times.
Oh, really?
During riots and stuff like that. So people,
They turn the cell phone networks
turn
off?
the cell phone network off. Yeah.
I don't
You
know
have
if
the
they
power
do
to do
that in the
I
United
don't know whether
States.
the US would
But
allow that, but
Well, let's just say we have a lot of agencies in the United States, so you don't know what they would do.
yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me at this point.
But short of that, obviously cell phone towers can, they can be blown over. They get put back. I mean, very quickly. But this basically gives you, even in urban areas, it gives you the reassurance that you can talk via satellite, whatever happens.
Now, what about if you're on a cruise ship?
Yeah, there are a lot of people going on
There
cruise
is
ships.
a great use for this.
Yeah.
I have several friends that are fortunate enough to go on cruises all the time. I never can get a hold of them. Then also, I have a lot of people, even business associates, that travel worldwide, and they go through the SIM card, I call it jungle.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this would alleviate that completely.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, that's it. That's your connectivity. And the interesting thing about it is that depending upon your cell phone provider and your plan, actually using that can be cheaper than roaming with your cell phone.
My brother-in-law John, if you're watching this, and I know you're probably not, but you're back east, and I'm here in Vegas, so it's 1 o'clock there, and I know you're awake. You should be awake, but John, you need one of these phones, and let's talk about the availability and the pricing of this.
Yeah. So this is available now. We just launched it.
Oh, so it's available. It's not a prototype.
No, that's actually a working model, so we
Okay.
can go ahead and use it. It's very good voice quality. It cost you about $900.
That's not bad considering
and-
the functionality that you're getting.
And airtime
Now, is it
depends on your
$900 for the phone, or is there a plan that goes with that?
And then you pay them. It looks just like a cell phone. It's a monthly plan with a set number of minutes, and it depends. If you sign up if you think you're going to be using it a lot,
Right.
then you buy a set number of minutes, and it pushes the price right down. If you just want it as an emergency backup,
Right.
then you pay a small monthly, retainer, and you get a minimum number of
Yeah,
minutes. So
The way I'm thinking, though, I mean, if I look at my brother-in-law who travels literally worldwide all the time and is on cruises all the time and on business, I mean, literally all over the world, he goes crazy.
yeah.
trying to get that cell phone to work in this country or get
Oh,
the
it's a
right SIM
nightmare.
card.
It's a nightmare.
It is a nightmare, and we need to be.
So
in touch
I,
with
you know,
him.
I bought a SIM card here,
Right.
T-Mobile, pay as you go, try
Right.
and save the company some money,
Yeah.
and it keeps on resetting, the APN
sure.
to the one that I use in the UK. I mean, come on, guys, really. Anyway,
so why don't
I feel
you
I
work
know
for this
exactly what you're
company,
talking
why
about.
don't you use this then?
Because the great thing with the smartphone is that it needs it. I
Hey,
got to
no one
watch.
told you it was going to be an easy interview.
I got to watch Game of Thrones.
Okay, okay.
Unfortunately, that won't do that.
Okay.
But we do have this other thing.
Let's
you see?
talk about it.
We've got
I
this
really
other
like
thing.
this. It's a, you know what?
I should just say that it's got an emergency assistance button, so
Really?
you can program it to send a message in the event of something bad happening to
Really?
to a contact to say I've got a problem. It also has tracking, so if you're a journalist, an aid worker,
Right.
or even if you're just going hiking, really out into the back and beyond, that tracks you. It's built in GPS, obviously, so that you can see on a website where that is. And track
So
the
if you
person.
got lost, someone can actually go on a website.
Absolutely. If you didn't,
Would there be a website that they would log in or a number and they
Yeah,
would
it-
track and give you the coordinates?
Yeah,
So this
exactly.
could save your life.
It could. It could.
This is a fantastic, fantastic idea. I have never seen one, and wow. Okay, what else we got?
So,
Hey,
using
are you
this,
guys having fun watching the show? Come on.
using the same satellites,
Right.
what everybody wants to do is exactly what you were just talking about. You want to use your smartphone wherever you are. So
Right.
if you're in an RV and you've decided to go down to Baja, California
Right.
for the winter, and you want to get connected even when you're not in a campsite or whatever,
Right.
then this is the device that does that for you. This is a satellite MiFi unit. So basically
Yeah,
that sets up a Wi-Fi hotspot, and it connects to those same satellites, so you still have to have line of sight. And then you connect your smartphone to that by Wi-Fi. There's an app on it. You can make phone calls, so you don't even need, that is if you don't want to carry this. If you want to use your smartphone, so you can make VoIP calls, you can send text, you can do web browsing, you can do all the things that you do with your smartphone, but via satellite anywhere in the world. And I think, I thought, so my job is really to talk about the media business, but, I thought this would appeal, a little bit to media people, to journalists, and actually
Right.
they've said, I want one of these.
Oh,
Let me take it with me, because it actually, that capability to get connected with your smartphone wherever you are, no worries about.
Via satellite.
Via satellite, yeah.
I would never even think of that.
Yeah, so the good thing about it is also that it's not just you. If you're with a group of friends,
Right.
it's Wi-Fi. It's
a
just a
hotspot.
Wi-Fi router. Yeah.
Right.
So
So if
all
I'm
of
in
you
my
can get
hotel
connected.
and I have free internet, which doesn't work, okay? I mean, it's free. Doesn't cost you anything, but doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
And I need to hook up.
Yeah, precisely.
This would do that.
It would do that. It what it can't do, because it's small, so we've had to make a compromise between the speed that you can get. So you get up to 384 kilobits per second.
Okay, but that'll do the job.
So it's good for web browsing. This is not yet launched. It'll be launched in June.
Right.
I've used the prototype. I have downloaded like a YouTube movie and streamed it, but I wouldn't position it as doing that. You can, but it does depend how many other people are using it. So if you've got a bunch of friends or family or
Right.
a team, all of who are doing email or
Right, you're
browsing,
sucking the
then it's
bandwidth.
you're gonna
Right.
you're gonna share it. But
if you were one-on-one using it, if you were traveling, for example, a
Yeah.
businessman,
absolutely,
businesswoman,
yeah, I mean, and the great thing is it's light, it's very
Now,
simple to use.
does this work on subscription also?
Same idea.
Give me
yeah.
a feel for what the price of this is.
So the price of the hardware is up to sort of $1,400 US.
Okay.
We haven't sorted out the airtime yet, but it'll be the same principle that basically you sign up for a plan just like you do with your cell phone or with a MiFi unit, and you sort of think, okay, I'm going to use it X amount.
Right.
I'll sign up for that plan, and you get a set number of minutes, or actually a set number of megabytes with it. And then if you go over it, you can trade up, or you pay an excess.
Let me ask you a question here, and I'm not sure I'm going to word it properly, but tell me the difference between, I understand that this will allow you to use your own smartphone
Yeah.
and hit the satellite, and I'm assuming the satellite that you're hitting per se is the same that you'd
Yes.
be hitting here. So
Yes.
aside from that, is there a difference between the two devices?
Yeah, this is designed to only do voice calls.
Okay.
It does do data, but it's 2.4 kilobits per second.
That's what I'm getting to. Okay.
You can send text. The difference is that this can do, relatively higher bandwidth.
So this is more involved for the internet connectivity, if you will.
It is.
This is primarily involved for voice.
Precisely.
For voice.
Precisely. That's the difference.
Now, let's get back to this, and I'm going to ask you some practical questions. Is it line of sight? In other words, if I'm inside a hotel room and I'm on the first floor, do I have to have line of sight to the sky? Is the building in a?
Yep, you absolutely do.
So I need to go towards a window.
Do
I have to be facing west, north, south, and orientated so that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So these little lights here tell you where you need to be. Where you need to point it.
So we would move this, and your lights would light up to get you the connectivity.
They go green, and then you know that you're on the satellite, and you have an app on your iPhone, on your Android device to help you position it. But you do need line of sight. So if you were on the first floor of a hotel, and you were not on the equator, because then you'd obviously be looking almost straight up.
Right.
Then, so in Vegas, you could do that, but you would have to be facing.
But if I was on a cruise ship,
the right direction. On a cruise ship, sure.
It's probably cheaper to use this than it is to get the cruise ship.
Very likely. Very likely.
Well, that's great. I appreciate you stopping by and bringing this technology in, and I suspect that this is just in its embryonic stages.
Yeah.
I suspect that next year and the year after, this is going to get better and better and cheaper, and I think it's going to be more mainstream than you actually anticipate. This is very clever. Very good idea.
Thank you.
Really is.
Much appreciated.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your time.
Well, there we go. That's something that I knew nothing about, and very, very clever, very unique idea, and I think it's quite practical, and I do think you've just seen the beginning of that. I'm impressed with that. Really cool.
Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Well, there we go. There's another impromptu interview brought to you by the Gadget Professor. Again, the Gadget Professor can be watched on thegadgetprofessor.com, and you know what? You guys or gals can email me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com. That would be thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com. If you want more information about NAB and you want to see some crazy photographs and what's going on during the day, tonight, when I crawl back into the room, if you check my Facebook page, that would be Facebook. Let's see here. I'll give you the exact address because I have it here. Unfortunately, I'm not plugged in online to show you my computer, but I have a ton of photographs I just put up. So if you just go to Facebook, The Gadget Professor, you'll see all the photographs, and you can make comments on the broadcast and all kinds of things. And I guess our next guest is here. And Corp, is that correct?
PESA.
PESA, up.
You can call us whatever you want.
No, I'm going to call you PESA. I have you here. I just didn't read the right line. And actually, you truly did some research and went up to the PESA booth yesterday. And they got some cool stuff, really cool. So let's check this out. I'm actually waiting for this interview. And I better put this over here so I can read correctly. Okay.
What's your name?
My name is Don Bain, and
Don.
I am the Gadget Professor.
You are the Gadget Guy.
Yes,
I am
sir.
Howard Sutton.
Howard Sutton,
I'm
how
Gadget
are you?
Guy Jr.
Good. Hi.
And this is Chris Thomas,
Chris
Gadget
Thomas.
Guy Senior.
You have your mic, so you'll have to hold that. Junior and senior.
Junior and senior.
Or the other way around.
Okay.
Well, we've brought a lot of gadgets to talk with you about today.
You came to the right place. The show is yours. Begin wherever you like. I was at your booth yesterday. It was very impressive, and I must compliment you that the sales gentleman that I ran into didn't know who I was and took a lot of time with me and really gave me a great demonstration, and some very impressive products. So let's get going.
Well, thank you very much. Well, just to begin with, we brought a couple of...
Can you hold your mic up? I want to make sure everybody hears you.
That better?
Yeah.
All right. We brought a couple of new additions to our intelligent switching panel lines.
Mike, can you get a close-up of that mic by any chance?
This is our Touch 72. It's an intelligent switching panel with dynamically re-legible buttons and a touchscreen interface for controlling our PESA routers. And then today at NAB, we're introducing his little brother. We call it the Smart 32. It's a one rack U 32 button switch element. Again, same intelligent re-legible buttons
makes it very efficient for controlling router switching. So we're very excited about these new products.
Okay, for
the
some
show.
of our audience who's not sure what we're talking about, we're talking about routers, and these are the devices and the switches behind the scenes that you don't see or even know exist. But I will assure you, if these don't work right, you will not get any reception, any picture whatsoever. And there is a ton of technology that is involved with this. And these guys have been around. They're modest, but they've been around for a long time.
Just a little over 40 years.
I would venture to say that they're, in my opinion, the standard for routers, and they have an enormous line of products. And you're just seeing probably a 16th of what they have, and I think you're the de facto standard for routers in the industry.
Thank you very much.
We've been around for a while. Chris is actually 87 years old,
okay.
and I'm about 74.
Okay.
A little bit of background on PESA, and thank you very much for that complimentary.
I mean, how many companies are around for 40 years?
You know, it's interesting because PESA for those...
Especially in this business.
Yes, we just won't go away.
Well, no, it's that you're doing things right. You wouldn't sustain in this business, and it's a very involved business, and also there's regulatory issues that you need to deal with.
Yeah, we've been fortunate as a company. For those that are not familiar with PESA, our two major markets are military and broadcast.
Okay.
And so that's sort of an interesting DNA because
it is.
We are throughout the U.S. military, and they are actively using our equipment that is 15, 20 years old and still working. So
now,
it goes to
that statement alone, is a testament to how reliable their equipment is. Because if our military is using it, it's got to work. It's just got to be fail-safe. So I mean, that's saying a lot, quite frankly.
Well, we're proud of it, and we're certainly proud in the video and audio space to be supporting the armed forces and our government, and at the same time very proud to support broadcast. We have made a decision 3 years ago as well to aggressively take that DNA, take the mission critical from military, take the high quality that's required in broadcast, and implement that in the world of streaming. So we have worked.
That's my world.
That's your world, and we've worked very diligently for the past 3 years. Developing some of the products, some of the new products that Chris will take you through, and indeed we'll end up showing you our PESA live streaming mobile offering that I think is going to raise a lot of eyebrows in the price and performance of the system, because it was a ground-up architected to be at a certain price point and have certain capability.
Let's go. I'm foaming at the mouth to show this to the audience. It's unique stuff.
Let's start then with...
I see Andy McCaskey in the background. Andy, are you taking off? I hope I catch you later. This is some cool stuff for streaming, real cool stuff. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
All right, so we want to start talking about the first family member for the PESA streaming product line. It's the PESA Extreme C58. We are shipping this product. This has been in production for several months. It is able to take 5 video sources in. It has a 5-channel encoding subsystem in it, and the sources can either be HD SDI inputs or IP camera inputs, so either type. In addition to the video, we can also take in up to 8 external microphones through a XLR breakout cable. Within the box, we have a full audio mixing subsystem with compressors and noise gates. So
and that would be software controls via an interface.
Via a web
browser
interface, correct. And so we can mix and assign the audio to any of the video channels, each independently. And then
there's 6 inputs.
There are 5 inputs, either HD SDI or IP in any combination.
Okay, so it's any combination of those.
Correct.
Okay.
Including analog. It does take NTC PAL as well. So if you've got legacy cameras in your infrastructure, so this could be an analog IP
combination. Right.
Quick question. I don't want to stop
your
flow, but just a quick question. So those are SDI inputs. I could get a converter from HDMI to SDI
and feed HDMI. Okay. We do that. In fact, you'll see that in our booth in the show today. We're doing some of that as well.
Because in our space, we do that a lot.
Right. In addition, the unit has a built-in multi-viewer that will do a 4-quadrant combination of any of the 5 inputs. So that then produces a 6th stream that is also streamed out of the box. So we stream a total of 6 streams, the 5 discrete inputs, either SDI on the BNC or IP cameras, and then a combination internally produced multi-view element as well, out over an RTSP or RTMP network stream. So that's the essence of the box. We have some HDMI local outputs, so you can have local monitoring of the video, both the individual selectable individual inputs or the quad view, and we can also support a USB stream to a PC for local viewing in a direct show environment. So it's a very flexible box. The application of this box is because many people that have encoders, but what makes this product unique is our ability to synchronize audio to video on a particular channel. So we have a full audio delay element in our processing path, so that if there's a delay coming in on the video, for example, if you have an IP camera coming in and you want to overlay microphone audio, we can set up the delays so that we maintain synchronization between the audio and video within a channel, and then we also maintain synchronization across the 5 channels. So synchronized audio and video on a multi-channel encoding is something that's very unique with this product.
I have never heard of anybody that actually can do that at this point.
What's really interesting, this was a huge development effort. This is at the firmware level. This is at the hardware level, so it's not software stacked on top of an Intel quad core. This is actually in the chipset. So if you are matching up 8 channels of audio for every channel of video across 5 video channels plus a multi-viewer, so when it comes out of this box it is perfectly synchronized. What was interesting in some applications where you would think, well, okay, this is great for IP cameras and microphones because you can have 1,000 millisecond separation, lip sync issues. But even in this, as Chris had mentioned, this supports HD-SDI and SD-SDI cameras. We're finding in implementations where you think, gee, it's not going to be an issue in that environment. Well, we're finding 150 to 200 milliseconds still in an HD-SDI environment where you've got cameras and microphones in a theater or in an operating environment, so you still need to sync it up. So we've solved that issue. It is what we believe, a huge differentiating factor in this device.
Is that automatic, or do you have the ability to fine-tune that?
It's fine-tuning through the web interface.
Okay, so you can fine-tune that.
Correct.
Is there latency between the interface and then the actual end result? Like, you're going to click and it's going to instantly, yes?
Yeah, so you match it up. I mean, so it's an instantaneous
real-time adjustment.
Correct. Absolutely.
So an application for this type of product will be in a venue where there's a need to have multiple cameras and microphones looking at the same event live. And so an example might be a courtroom. We found some application of this technology in a courtroom where you'll have a camera on the witness and on the 2 defense and prosecuting attorney benches and the judge, and they want to record that, all the testimony being picked up by the microphones, and make sure it's completely synchronized so that when they come back and review the stored files after the fact, they can have an exact and precise record of the events.
Interesting.
So when we designed this product, when we did the business case for it, the objective of this business case was to displace a current architecture of 4 different boxes, from encoders, decoders, mixers, audio devices, synchronizers, into one device. The cheapest bundle of that we could find in the market was $65,000. We designed this device, and this device is less than depending on in this sort of environment, to call it approximately $12,000.
Wow.
So we cut 65 to 12 in terms of what
and
you're getting.
And probably increase the quality too.
Exactly.
Yes. It supports 1080, up to 1080p P60. You can discreetly, with each of the 6 independent streaming channels, manage the bit streams in terms of the rate on them. So if you want one higher and one lower, so you can mix and manage as
trade-off
as
quality
you want.
Versus network
I can see a lot of security issues and security applications for this. Quite a few actually.
There's an application that we're showcasing that you probably saw in the booth. Maybe we'll just switch to that, because that is based off the extremes.
We have about 5 minutes.
Great. So we'll showcase that, and then we will and then we will discuss the
Howard,
brother.
why don't you start with the PESA Extreme Live?
So this is PESA Extreme Live. Once again, the intent was to change the paradigm on price performance for live streaming events. This is an iApp and also a Google Play app. Is that okay?
Yep.
And I hope if I can just get up here. But you can see the smooth transition. Now, once again, what's important about this? What's important about this is the synchronization. Try running this on an event where if you're watching a hockey game, as we are, and if it's not synchronized, the puck will be, even if it's a second behind, it screws things up.
Yeah,
right.
And you know it too. Your brain perceives that.
So this works along with the Extreme. It's a wonderful viewing experience that allows you either, even for example, if you wanted one stream to be actually the contribution broadcast stream, could be one of the windows. The other three windows could be isolated camera views.
Right.
Great applications are for value-add sort of services for the more expensive seats, if that's what's required in the boxes, etc., of stadiums. You also have, and I'm sorry, this is a little bit awkward, but a live Twitter implementation for social networking. You've got ad insertion at the bottom.
You got all the bells and whistles built right in.
You got the logo.
Well
so
thought out.
It's all a nice package where you can drop in, and one of the key items is it's all remotely managed. So if you wanted to put in fixed cameras, pan-tilt zoom cameras at a venue, not even be at the venue, we will be launching in September an ability to do editing on the video stream.
The automation is jaw-dropping. Really.
So once again, at a price point. So when you're talking about for a full encompassed product with all of the feature sets, delivering 720 or 1080 remotely at a price point under $20,000, you're changing the paradigm in terms of venues.
Absolutely, and you get that pace of reliability. All right. Well,
We got
one more to talk about.
Yeah.
Time. Not that I
30 seconds.
We're very excited about this. This is the little brother of the big box here.
I saw that one yesterday.
This is the
like,
PESA
wow.
Extreme C22.
Yeah.
And
flip that around so we can see the outputs on that. Mike,
this unit has two HD SDI inputs and two encoder channels, so it's a two-channel encoder. But it's also a decoder, so I can take the two IP streams in and put the HD SDI back out. So in its simplest application, it's a box on each end with an IP link in between.
Right.
However, it's much more than that, because not only can it do HD SDI in, you may notice that we have an SFP cage right
fiber.
here. So we can also bring fiber in, two channels in, stream and receive, two channels out. But it's more than that, because we can mix and match. So I can have one channel in going one direction and another second channel coming back the opposite direction. So it can be a bi-directional one-channel streaming device. And so it's very flexible in that regard. All the same
features. Price point on that.
And this box is going to be priced sub $3,000, so it's very attractive.
Very, very attractive for what it does.
And we also allow the input of analog microphones, so the same kind of audio overlay capability that his bigger brother has.
If I could just make a real quick point as well, this has all the synchronization of its big brother, and just a little point, because this is a differentiator. I mean, we certainly design and manufacture in the U.S. These are being used in a hospital environment. They are actually all manufactured in a medical grade facility, so you're getting not only kind of military specifications, but a medical grade spec as well.
That's why PESA has been around for 40 years. I mean, they're the standard in my opinion. So, gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you. We invite people to come by the booth, check us out, and thank you so much.
Where's your location?
Where is our booth? We'll find
knows.
We are in the
South Hall.
We're in the South Hall.
Lower level.
Lower level. How about that?
John, what's our booth?
You'll find.
What's our booth number? What's our booth number?
4619. The South Hall.
Please come
Thank
see
you
us.
so much.
Come check them out. PESA. Thank you so much,
sir.
gentlemen.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Great job. Great product.
Yeah,
I love it. Believe me, in this industry, you would not be around 40 years if you weren't doing phenomenal work. Their stuff has to be 100% accurate. The precision has to be 100% all the time. There's literally no margin for error, or you will have a communications breakdown. And of course, if you're, supplying that type of goods for the armed services or any kind of medical work, it's got to work. So a lot of these people are quite modest. They're very excited about their products, but really, PESA has has set the standard and is the standard in that router space, if you will. So you can check them out at PESA.com. And now we are actually setting up for our next guests, and we're running a tad late, but that happens. They are BroadcastPix, and they are in the streaming video space. Are you ready? I didn't know if you had time to set up.
Well, we're not really setting up. We're just
Okay,
going to talk,
doing
and we've got some.
Demo. So, I'm sorry, your name?
Lee Griffin.
Lee Griffin. I am Don Bain, the Gadget
Hi,
Professor.
Don. Nice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah. And the company is called BroadcastPix, and they make a whole line, really, of a broadcast. And now we have a streaming box that's easy to use and is feature packed. So let's take a look at what we got.
Well, one of the key things of what we're doing, Don, is it's our integrated approach into the live production market.
Right.
And there are traditional switches out there which AB could stuff, but what we wanted to do is bring a whole integrated approach to a live production.
Right.
And we understand we're only a certain part of that production. And what we need to do is we need to reach out to other, and do a collaborative approach.
Right.
So for example, we launched a video switcher, but we launched with 2 independent clip servers built in. But the interesting thing about the clip servers is they're natively linked into an Avid ISIS system. So we can support DNX HD directly from the system. It's linked into Apple's ProRes file formats. It's linked into Adobe's H.264 MP4 file formats. So again, getting their content directly live on air is the really interesting
Essentially
part.
by linking your equipment to, quote, the standard production equipment that's out there, and just the content that's available with Adobe in itself opens up the box for that fluid back and forth information exchange.
Absolutely.
Which makes your life easier, and
Yeah.
also the access it's there.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've also looked at all the other parts of it, the social media aspects, the Twitter, the Facebook. Again, camera technology, controlling cameras all from the same system. What we're trying to make people's lives is to create highly professional video, but at a lower cost. And the ability, for example, to control any Sony camera, any Panasonic camera, any Vadio camera, any Hitachi camera, any telemetrics camera, any Lumens camera.
Right.
So, multiple different cameras with presets.
These are, IP or remote cameras that revolve, tilt, and do all that, so you actually can bring those signals into this box.
Absolutely. And we can also control them all from there. So one of the key things about our system is our patented PixPad device, and I'll just show you actually this down here.
Okay, Mike, can you get we'll zoom here and get a close-up of this. Now, what model is this? Are we talking?
This is just a 1,000 panel BroadcastPix 1,000 control surface.
Okay.
And if we look over here, we've got a traditional switcher over here. Your preview, your program bus, your AUX bus. But actually over on the right-hand side, we've got our patented PixPad device. And what that means is that these are all what we call our iPad minis. They update constantly. And what we can do is that, for example, if you want to pull up a CG, a character generator, you just hit the CG, and these all dynamically update. If you want to pull a camera position, you connect this, and it will bring up all the camera control. If you want to insert something from a Key-Eye Pro or a Blackmagic Hyperdeck, you press this button, and all the clips up here. If you want to pull a still, an animation, a logo, and so one operator can actually access
is accessible, and it makes the operator's job actually quite easy.
Absolutely, but we've also added to all those new functions now by first of all doing all that part, but also adding this new stuff such as cloud access to the system. So, for example, one of the key things that we've launched is direct integration with Dropbox, Google Drive, Microsoft SkyDrive, and what means is that
so if I have a video clip or a still or whatever that's sitting on Dropbox, it will easily be accessed by your...
No, our system will pull the information, and what we've launched is the native codecs from Android phones, iPhones, all into the system, so I can go out and shoot something. So, for example, eyewitness report. The eyewitness report is somebody seeing something downtown in LA, there's been a big crash, and they filmed it on their iPhone. Well, traditionally, to get that information from the iPhone to broadcast, it would go through transcoding. We can actually send it directly from the phone, directly to our system.
Really?
And we can be on air within seconds.
Really?
And that includes clips,
What a great
videos. So, for example,
so
it
you
could be
can do this on the iPhone or the Android.
and iPhone or the Android, an iPad, for example, over at at our booth, we're showing an iPad. Somebody shooting with the clips with the iPad and sending it directly up onto the system.
Wow.
So we're linking into all that, cloud-based data where people can actually send information, engage with the audience. That could be at a hockey game or a basketball game where people are sending their best pictures of their Michael Jordan poses or whatever.
Now, what's your latest intro into the market? I know you have I'm looking actually at the Flint V3 right now.
Yep. Well, we've launched we've actually launched 7 new products at the show.
7 new products.
Yeah.
Okay.
7 new products. We were traditionally the switcher manufacturer, the integrated approach. What we've launched is our new product, which is a Review, a slow motion replay system.
Right.
Which is a 4 channels and 2 independent channels on the outputs. Replay system records 100 megabit iframe only, but one of the key things is we can support 1080p and all the latest codecs, DNx HD, ABC Intra, $35,000.
Okay.
And there's certain key features that we have in there that, for example, the integration with our PixPad device. So again, on the PixPad device, we can actually interrogate the slow motion system. If we do in and out points, all the clips will appear on the panels. So again, integration with that. One of the key things as well is we talk about graphics, and you're only as good as your brand, what you offer to the end user. So we've launched our new 3D product called FX3D, which is a real-time 3D character generator with virtual cameras, and it's all real-time, and it's integrated directly into our system. But again, it's at a price point which doesn't exist in the market today. And it will integrate with 3ds Max, Maya, Softimage, all the traditional features, and we've got virtual cameras, shades, meshes, all that in. So what we're trying to do is offer an ecosystem for a sports arena or for a live production or a live event where you can do your sports replay, you can do your production, you can get involved with social media, and you can create your brand with 3D graphics.
Let's talk about the social media aspects. You're producing a video, and now you want to get it out there. How can your box help me do that?
Yeah. So
and where can it send it to?
Yeah. So for example, we'll just talk a small bit about social media. We have a full moderation tool in terms of social media. So what we can do is, for example, we can search, hashtag NAB show, and all the tweets will appear. Right. We can moderate those tweets, and all we have to do is just move them to the live output, and it'll automatically, dynamically update all the text. In terms of our streaming capabilities, what we have done is, again, looked at the integrated approach, and people want streaming. People want to be able to see that live on there. And again, from our PixPad, again, what we call these is our hotspot buttons. We can change these. For example, this button becomes our streaming button. And what you can do is say, just start streaming, stop streaming. And we can stream Windows Media, Flash, to a content service provider of your choice.
It sounds like your new product release is on steroids. It's pretty impressive.
Well, that's what we do kind of class in some of our products. The people ask us, what do you guys do? And it's like, we're kind of a switcher on steroids, It's
well, you are. And your booth is located?
In SL6325.
Okay, and you had one more product?
Yeah, one more product,
okay.
Which is actually a very interesting thing. We've launched this product called Vox.
Okay.
And what this is voice automated production. And I know you've got a cameraman there, but what if you didn't want a cameraman? What if you wanted to control all this via microphone talking? And when you spoke, the camera switched accordingly because they knew you were talking.
So I could tell the cameraman, the camera Vox box, to take a close-up of your Vox?
Yeah, and it will do it. No, it won't do that. For what will happen is, for example, if you start talking, it will switch the camera to you because it understands you're talking.
Okay.
But if the two of us start talking, it will cut to a wide shot because the two of us are talking.
How do you incorporate a close-up, or you don't?
It does, because what we have is all our macro buttons. So what we do is, this system is telling the system to change macro positions. And we can have multiple presets, up to 20, 25 presets per PTZ camera.
So that's done via software through a web link or something?
No, it's built into the system.
The software in the system.
And this is really designed, for example, for government sessions, for council halls, for the new place, which is
very
visual radio.
Right.
So for radio stations who want to get into the TV market, produce professional broadcast content, but they don't have engineers, they don't have vision mixer operators. So we have automated. Yeah, and we have some radio stations. For example, one radio station which we're broadcasting 1,800 hours during the summertime from a beach.
Wow.
And it was so successful.
I'd like that job.
Yeah, well, I wanted to go visit actually, and they launched on the beach, and it was so successful. They launched it as a digital TV channel.
Isn't that great?
And nobody's involved in the whole production.
Fantastic. All remote. All robotics.
All robotics and all automated.
That's great.
Yep.
Well, I thank you so much for coming in. If
Thanks
you want
for
more
having me.
information, I always go to broadcastpix.com, and pretty much everything we talked about is on their website. And it's a very nice website.
Thank you very
Well,
much.
thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you
Don.
for coming in.
Cheers.
I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Cheers.
I'm going to give you a Gadget Professor card and
you.
my other card. So there you go.
Brilliant. Thank you,
If you
Don.
have a card, you can leave it there.
Unfortunately, I didn't
That's
bring
okay,
anyone.
that's all
Yeah,
right.
but
We know how to get you.
Yeah, okay.
You're welcome to come on the Gadget Professor show anytime, and we can talk about a single product or multiple products.
Yeah,
and,
that'd
we
be
could
brilliant.
spend a full half hour, 45 minutes just dedicated to BroadcastPix.
Well, that would be brilliant.
And we certainly know that you have enough products to do that.
Yeah.
So get in touch with me.
Yeah.
And we'll put you on.
And maybe we could actually use this and drop your camera.
Okay, that would be fun. We should do that.
Okay, thanks, Don.
Okay, thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Have a
Thank
great show. BroadcastPix, they've been around for a long time, and as he said, he came up with 7 new intros, 7 new products for NAB. I have not had a chance to go to their booth yet and take a first-hand look, but that Vox box, as I'm going to call it, looks pretty cool, and it's neat to see the automation, the different types of technologies that are coming around. And in terms of technology, our next guest, I've known for a while, and Bob, come on down. Our next guest is from Next Computing, and it's a friend of mine at this point. I've known him for a while, a gentleman, a scholar, a master of 16 languages, all of which are foreign, from Next Computing, Mr. Bob Labidini.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Next Computing is, I don't know where to begin. Let me just say that a lot of the equipment that is out there today, is it okay if I mention a couple names?
You certainly may.
I'll mention a couple. Let's just say AMD, let's just say StreamStar, the folks that were here this morning, Livestream. Rumor has it that you build all their boxes.
We do.
And I'm sure you can go on and on and on.
Yeah, Next Computing, what we do is we develop and manufacture a range of products that are intended to be deployable. And our approach is to help innovators, a lot of them at this show, whether they're software companies, whether they're solutions providers or integrators, go to market with a platform, a turnkey appliance solution. As part of that, we have a portfolio of products that are portable or short depth rack. And what we do uniquely is we're very focused on this problem set in this market, very familiar with the whole ecosystem and supply chain, and collaborate with some of the companies that you've mentioned. And I'll talk about some example applications to help them go to market with their products very quickly, effectively, and cost effectively.
Now, your company basically builds the box, and that means the box, the components that are in it that are obviously selected and handpicked per application. I was talking to Bob yesterday, and he was actually getting excited about if you look at the Livestream box with the lighting in it, I mean,
yes.
It's real sexy, it's real cool, and it just draws you in. The paint. They even get down to the analysis of the paint. He was telling me that you had like an automotive paint to give it a certain shine. So I mean, these are the people that are kind of behind the scenes, and quite frankly, it's sometimes amazing to me, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just something in my brain or that I've grown up with. But if you take Livestream or StreamStar, and the folks from StreamStar are out of Bratislava, obviously the folks from Livestream are in New York, but all those boxes are made in the USA by Bob.
They are.
In New Hampshire.
They are, yes.
And that's pretty impressive. And I like to know that the product's made in America.
Yes, we actually out of just north of Boston is where our company's located. We do all of our development, our design, mechanical systems, software, firmware in New Hampshire, and we actually do all our manufacturing in New Hampshire as well. And the key is that in this particular market, generally speaking, what we refer to it as is medium to low volume, high mix type applications where a lot of innovation is needed, a lot of interaction is needed with the potential solutions provider to help them tune their application and also understand what they need and how they need it, and obviously time to market is very important. As you see in the NAB market, the product release cycles are at least every year, if not sooner. And that's a big thing that we do, is enable time to market, and also, to your point, in the context of Livestream and others, is help them with their branding. So we help with not only the branding, tuning of the applications, we help them with thermals, electricals, we do certifications. We even do fulfillment. We may do complete regression testing of the applications.
People don't even realize the certifications that are involved in almost every box that's out there. I mean, just the electrical specifications. If you look on the back of any box, where you put the power cord, you're going to see some labeling there that you never pay attention to,
right.
But
very important.
That's there for a reason.
Yes, very important. It's called homologation, so there are certifications required not only to ship in North America, but in the European community and elsewhere. And that has to be done in the context of the appliance. What third-party cards, whether it's a range of like Blackmagic or Azure, or a range of cards, or even
also the ability to sell out of country.
Out of country, absolutely.
Licensing,
and we also help a lot with our partners and customers in that respect in terms of the logistics. Helping them with the customs process and other elements to not only that, but also support and service. In fact, we do support and service the appliances, not only what we're doing, but often the whole application for those partners as well.
So could you tell our audience basically who your customer would be? And essentially, I'm assuming it's someone who has a design, a box design in mind, aren't quite sure of what should be in it, and essentially they would come to someone like you, who has all the expertise, and help them design and put this together to meet their specifications.
Yeah, let me give you 4 different application examples in a range of type of companies to give you a little bit of a profile. On one side of the equation, they're a broadcaster, and we do help broadcasters directly, and that's ESPN. So ESPN is a customer of ours, and in reality, they're sort of an internal OEM. They have internal groups that are creating applications for graphics generation, could be telestration, a range of things. So in that context, again, any broadcaster, we can help them with their internal requirements that may be unique to them. They may have certain weight requirements or configuration requirements, so they may use a combination of software and hardware. And again, we can help them with their workflow and their use case. So that's one example as a broadcaster type, and another example.
And that's stuff that the public would never see or actually buy or use, because it's basically proprietary and it's owned by ESPN for their functionality within their domain.
Exactly. So in other cases, you mentioned Livestream, very innovative company.
That's for sure.
Outstanding company with fabulous software.
That HD51, that just blew me away. Boy, the ergonomics, the design. You know, the HD51 is just something you just want to, you want to grab it. You want it.
Absolutely. And Livestream, as an innovator, they're very innovative. They want to go to market quickly. They want to have their brand is important to them. The look and feel, the use. In fact, they're very Apple-like in terms of their thinking, which is a compliment to them. So what we help in that case is we help them with their concept, how they want to approach it, enable them to have a suite of products. And in fact, some of the things you talked about, like the HD510 that they announced at the show, that went from concept to delivery here at the show, and actually within 120 days that we implemented for them. Other companies, VizRT, a leading company in terms of the graphics generation, editing, we work with them in terms of again, we do their branding on some of their rack platforms that they deploy to a variety of their customers, Weather Channel, etc. And our range, it's interesting, Don, is that where we can help is from small, innovative startups. In fact, some of our customers are literally 1 or 2 people software companies. They have an idea, a concept, and we can help them go to market, to major corporations like ESPN and anywhere in between. And I think today it's about innovation, time to market, and relative strengths, and that's where we're complementary.
Bob, you are a rare breed of cat, and I'll tell you why. The knowledge base that you have to not only understand the electronics that are involved, the ergonomics that are involved, the licensing, the legalities, down to the coating of paint. Here's a man who is extremely intelligent, extremely knowledgeable about his business, and you know what? very, 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 very caring and passionate
yes.
about what he does, and that's why I say you're a rare breed of cat. Now, all that said, not that I want to give you a lot of compliments, but all that said, you're as approachable as a human could be, and modest. And there's not many guys that I know that. Here's the bottom line: it's the organization of all this knowledge. If he wasn't as organized and as sharp as he is, the company wouldn't be successful. To have clients like ESPN, and again, these are things that the public they don't even know are made, but ESPN relies on Next Computing to do this. But you obviously are an extremely well-organized individual, and I compliment you on that, really.
Well, thank you very much. I think what we represent is, in my view, it's a paradigm shift, because you mentioned about Made in USA. The computing industry is changing dramatically, and what Next Computing is doing is what we see is that it's become more specialized in that. To your point, I think what you were just saying is that we're looking at solving problems. So one of the areas of focus is this, what we call the media broadcast market, represented by NAB here today. And the problems that the innovators in this market are trying to solve, you just can't necessarily use, an off-the-shelf computer from a Dell or an HP.
Every situation is unique.
Yes, and so you have to look at the whole problem, and you have to cooperate with the partner because they have their goals and objectives, and you can't just do cookie cutter type strategies in order to help them innovate and get to market.
That goes back and reinforces again your huge knowledge base and the passion that you have for what you do. And I don't know, if it was my product, I'd be saying Made in the USA, made by Next Computing. And quite frankly, Next Computing has a phenomenal reputation just across the board in terms of reliability, support, and just easy to get along with. So there's not many companies out there in that space. I can tell you that.
Right.
And you know that.
Yes. And I think you mentioned customer. It's all about helping the customer and helping solve problems. That's the way we look at it. It's not about anything but that.
Right. Now, unbeknownst to the audience, I know that I'm going to actually have the honor of having you back tomorrow.
Yes.
And you have an announcement that I can't announce today, but you want to stay tuned because Bob will be back tomorrow. And you have a new product that's in development right now.
We do, and we have a partnership with, similarly as I'm talking about, an innovative company who's focused on a problem set that we're partnering with, doing a joint activity, and yes, we want to talk about that in detail tomorrow.
So you will hear a first tomorrow. Believe me, no one else is going to have this information, and it's an honor to have Bob here with us from Next Computing, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow because it's going to be something that's not out there yet, really, and it's something new and a really cool, innovative product, and we'll just leave it at that.
Okay,
because we want people to come back tomorrow to watch the show. So, Bob,
thank you very much, Don.
So
I appreciate your time. Appreciate having us on here.
Again, my compliments to the chef. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, and I'll probably see you later.
Absolutely.
Bob goes from booth to booth because he's like a celebrity here, and he has so many clients here that I'm glad he carved out 15 minutes to come in and see us. So thanks again. I appreciate
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So that's going to wrap it up pretty soon. We got like a minute left, and I want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Gadget Professor show. Quite frankly, it's not how I expected things to go. I do have a list here of everybody who's supposed to be here. Some people didn't show up, but we had other people in place, and it was kind of neat. And we ended up with a couple new products that I was unaware of, and I think we had a pretty cool show, and we had that guest appearance, that surprise guest appearance from Callie Lewis. That was a lot of fun, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow as we wrap up the NAB coverage. Tomorrow will be our last show from 9 to 11, and here we are checking out exactly on time with a rough start. We got our audio fixed, our video fixed, and we nailed it today. So thank you very much, and I think we have the Gadget Professor out queued up. Is that true? I don't know. It's everybody's kind of looking. We're not sure. That's it. See everybody tomorrow.